While receiving the State Council of Obers on a condolence visit over the terror attack on Owo in his office, the governor tasked the monarchs to ensure safety of the environment, including the forests. He advised the monarchs to gather their hunters and rid the forest around them of criminals. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole has details of the visit.
The Ondo State Council of Obers was led to the governor's office on a condolence visit by its chairman and DG of Akure, Oba Aladelusi Aladetoyinbo, following the recent terror attack in Owo. In his words of condolence, Oba Aladelusi described the attack as horrific, saying it was a terrible situation the monarchs could not comprehend.
What affects Owo also affects everyone of us in the state. We met. We said we cannot continue like this. They cannot come here and terrorize the state. I know your effort. Despite because of the insufficient fund, you still make effort to recruit more Amotekun. We really appreciate you. We take security as one of the priority in the state.
Governor Akeredolu appreciated the traditional rulers for the visit and charged them to join hands with the government to fight crimes and criminals who have invaded the state's forest. Akeredolu, who reassured the royal fathers of government's commitment to apprehend those behind the killings, urged them to embrace the use of customs and traditions, including local hunters, to protect their communities and the people.
This is something so horrible. And it's not something we are taking with kid gloves. It's something that is like a dagger drawn to a heart. Because I've been to hospital. I've been there over and over again.
He recited his passion to improve on every effort at securing the state and its people. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, women groups under the aegis of Women Manifesto have paid a condolence and solidarity visit to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu over the heinous crime that occurred in Owo on the 5th of this month. The women groups were led by wife of Ondo State Governor Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu and wife of the Deputy Governor Oluwaseun Ayedatiwa to the Cocoa Conference Hall at Lagbaka, Akure. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole reports that the groups were made up of the National Council for Women's Societies, Federation of Muslim Women's Societies, Red Cross, Market Women, Iyalojas and Iyalajes, women artisans and the Women Manifesto Movement of Nigeria, among others.
In the morning, we have chosen this way to express our grief, to say our sense of huge personal loss, and to demand that the beast who frittered away the vast labor of mothers by slaughtering and making our own be made to answer for this heinous act. We have also chosen this route to identify with our sisters who lost children and husbands to this horrendous carnage.
We are seriously bothered as women because women and children are often at the receiving end. Many Bible and innocent souls, even worshippers in churches and priests, have been killed and wasted. The whole world is bothered about the unbecoming scenarios of needless death, which solutions look increasingly evasive in Nigeria. We as women, Nigerian women, Ondo State in particular, hereby demand for justice on the Owoda's killings, and we say enough is enough.
In the meantime, various women groups have added their voices to protest the attack on St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo. Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Adebumi Oshadaun, alongside National Coordinator of Women Manifesto Movement, Dr. Abiola Akinode Afolabi, alongside wife of the State Deputy Governor, Oluwaseun Ayedatiwa, led other women to protest the terror attack in Akure and Owo. Omonriola Ugbenji reports that the women also paid a condolence visit to Olowo. We hope to bring you that report in the course of the bulletin. Similarly, the Ondo State Permanent Secretary Forum has described the offensive that rocked St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo as heinous crime to humanity. During a condolence visit to the Olowo of Owo, Oba Ajibade Ogunye, the chairman of the forum, Chief Bumi Alade, charged security agencies to go after the attackers in the interest of justice. Kunle Ariyo reports.
Terror unleashed on the church and its worshippers by some unknown gunmen is still heart-rending to the country. Members of the Permanent Secretaries Forum, joined by the representatives of UNICEF from Abuja and Akure Field Office, paid a condolence visit to the palace of Olowo, where the chairman of the forum, Chief Bumi Alade, described the attack as barbaric. Chief Alade prayed God to grant the bereaved the fortitude to bear the huge loss and charged security agencies to go after the perpetrators to serve as deterrent to others. He applauded the security efforts of Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu and charged the federal government to be more determined in curbing insecurity bedeviling the nation.
So if all those efforts are really being put in place to ensure that there is peace, then it is unheard of that this kind of dastardly acts can still take place in our Sunshine State. We want to enlist your support. We want to beg that your voice will be heard all over the world, not even in Nigeria alone. Let's call on people to come and assist us through ICT to solve this security problem.
The Olowo Oba Ajibade Ogunye thanked the team for the visit and their support for the victims of the attack.
What we experienced on Sunday was very traumatic, which was never expected, considering that this has been a serene environment. This type of destruction has never been experienced, leading to expectation.
The team also visited the incident scene, St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, to sympathize with the priest and the congregation of the church. The chairman, Bumi Alade, later presented a check to the priest for the victims. Aside the blood earlier donated, likewise, they also visited the victims at the hospital where they are presently receiving treatment. Kunle Ariyo, Osrc News.
All right, we now go back to the story on women groups under the aegis of Women Manifesto, who paid a condolence and solidarity visit to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu over the heinous act that occurred in Owo on the 5th of this month. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole reports that the groups were made up of the National Council for Women Societies, Federation of Muslim Women Societies, Red Cross, Market Women, Iyalojas, Iyalojes, Women Artisans, and the Women Manifesto Movement of Nigeria, among others. The report.
The Koko Conference Hall of the Governor's Office in Akure played host to women groups, including the National Council for Women Societies, Federation of Muslim Women Societies, Red Cross, Market Women, Iyalojas, Iyalajes, Women Artisans, and the Women Manifesto Movement of Nigeria, among others. The co-convener of the Women Manifesto, Dr. Abiola Akinode Afolabi, described the Owo attack as another evidence of blatant disregard for human lives and incessant murder of defenseless citizens by criminal gangs who have remained unchecked across the country. The group demanded that the identities of all victims of the Owo tragedy, both dead and injured, be published, while calling on government to demonstrate accountability and carry out a speedy investigation that is conclusive, leads to arrest, successful judicial prosecution, and sentencing of the killers.
Say 40 people died, people say 21, some say 51. We know that the governor of the state is a very thorough, and so we expect and demand that the identities should be made known. If there is a plane crash, there will be a manifest that will show the identity of the people who died. It's very important, sir.
A concerned wife of Ondo State Governor, Betty Anyanwu Akeredolu, lamented that it is not the best of time for mothers. The First Lady stressed that women are bleeding from the bad result put on their bond that binds them.
We have also chosen this route to identify with our sisters who lost children and husbands to this horrendous carnage.
Governor Akeredolu appreciated the women groups and maintained that such horrendous attack, which had never happened in the Southwest, was highly devastating. According to him, the Southwest people have always embraced peace in Nigeria while describing the attack as horrendous. He assured that the government will spare nothing to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book.
It might take some time because we know the moving before us. One thing I know is that again, it's not easy to bring them to justice. But we want to fight you to the end. One thing I can assure you, we will take justice to them.
The governor appreciated medics at the Federal Medical Center and St. Louis Hospital, both in Owo, Ondo State Ministry of Health, University of Medical Sciences Teaching Hospital, and students of College of Health Technology, Akure. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
In a related development, various women groups have added their voices to protest the attack on St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo. Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Adebumi Oshadaun, alongside National Coordinator of World Manifesto Movement, Dr. Abiola Akinyode Afolabi, alongside wife of the State Deputy Governor, Oluwaseun Ayedatiwa, led other women to protest the terror attack in Akure and Owo. Omorala Ogbenji reports that the women also paid a condolence visit to Olowo.
The women groups include National Council of Women Society, Federation of Muslim Women Society, Red Cross, Market Women, Iyalojas, Women Wings of Christian Association of Nigeria, Women Artisans, and Women Manifesto movements in Nigeria. They held the protest on the streets of Akure and Owo to register their condemnation of the attack that left many killed.
I remember,
At Owo, the palace of Olowo was the first port of call where the women poured out their minds over the killings, calling on the monarch to engage all the necessary hands to protect the Southwest. While condoling the Olowo Obajibade Ogunwoye over the misfortune that befell the community, the women cried out to President Muhammadu Buhari, who according to them has the fundamental role to play by rejigging on the security architecture of the country for the protection of citizens.
We are grieved. We are seriously grieved in all those states. Women are money all over Nigeria. 17 states are represented here.
Come and make our presence felt here. We have written several statements. We have made several demands. It looks like nothing is happening. The governor of this state is one of those who have been advocating for a restructuring, and we're standing by that.
The Olowo lauded the women for their unrelenting efforts at making things right in the country, saying monarchs are putting heads together in tackling incessant killings in the region. The king also called on federal government to allow the federalism in the country to be in line with the world standard, where police and other security agencies are adequately equipped for the task before them.
The women folk are powerful. You know, they know how to achieve whatever they set out to do. We know this will go a long way. in turning things around positively in Nigeria as a nation.
The women also visited victims at the hospitals, where relief materials and other valuable items were donated for their support. Omoriola Hungbiji, Osrc News.
Moving on to other stories now, Ondo State Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General Charles Titiloye is in Lagos with his counterparts from other parts of the country to discuss critical legal issues relating to value-added tax, VAT, Paris Club refunds, stamp duties, and others. The meeting in the former capital city from today till Friday will also deliberate on proposed amendments to Stamp Duties Act, pensions and gratuity for judges, as well as rejigging of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu and Chairman Southern Governors Forum was expected to have given a keynote address at the rendezvous. Other major legal issues to be considered are anti-corruption commissions established by the states and the Federal Inland Revenue Service threat to recover unremitted tax deductions by states and local governments. The forum was established as part of efforts to form a formidable force of state attorneys general to take positions on legal issues and take legal action or review legal actions taken on behalf of the states. The Ondo State government has assured residents that all ongoing road projects will be completed in due time. The assurance is coming on the heels of insinuations by residents that contractors have left sites, especially in Akure, the state capital. The State Commissioner for Infrastructure, Lands and Housing, Mr. Raimi Aminu, said the hiatus is due to the rainy weather condition, saying contractors will be returning to site when the weather is favorable. Omoriola Ugbenji was at some ongoing road projects in Akure, the state capital. Her report.
Parts of the ongoing projects in Akure, the state capital, are Orita Obele Okeodu, Okeodu Ipinshairo Road, Ijoka Road, and ShopRite Oda Road. The Ijoka Road project is near completion as all the culverts and drainages have been completed, expecting final asphalt overlay in one side of the road, not more than 500 kilometers. Residents and road users along other road expressed displeasure over the situation, calling on government to complete the project as soon as possible.
They're supposed to finish this road, whether made from government town or Nakotato, whether that is made from us. If you see this road now, they're supposed to finish since.
It's disturbing us a lot. Every day we are suffering for, even sometimes passengers are complaining.
This road is not more tolerable, it's not good, it is unfair. So we need to beg the government to come and help us do this road.
Convenient fún àwọn èèyàn láti rìn, ìmọ̀ ẹlẹ́sẹ̀ gan nígbà míì tójò bá rọ̀ kò rí convenient. So ó yẹ káwọn ìjọba a mọ̀ pé wọ́n gbìyànjú omi ló pọ̀ because tá a bá wo oríṣiríṣi àwọn ọ̀nà tí wọ́n ń ṣe kán bá wa gbìyànjú kán ṣe lè kó yọrí Ọlọ́run á dẹ̀ ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́.
Ìgbà àgbàdo ẹ̀ ìgbà ọ̀gbẹ́lẹ̀ àgbàdo ẹ̀ tuntun ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo gbàgbé mi mú kíní mo ti ń wúkọ́ báyìí bá ṣe náà ni aṣáà ń bẹ̀ wọ́n náà pé kán bá wa ṣe náà ni.
Presently, work is ongoing on the culvert along Okeodu Road in preparation for the earthwork of the road project. Reacting through Acting Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Infrastructure, Idowu Allen, the Commissioner for Infrastructure, Lands and Housing, Mr. Raimi Aminu, said the contractors would be resuming to sites as soon as the weather is favorable.
Few categories of works that can be done during this period are the concrete works, such as the construction of lined drainage, reinforced concrete lined drainages, and then culverts. And since our projects have been on for some time, these jobs have been done. So what is left to be done are the construction works on the earthworks operations, what we call earthwork operations. So, and this cannot be done during the rainy seasons. So that's why you see that the tempo of construction is at a very low ebb. So if you go to If you go to any of the new sites where we have opened, you see that the contractors are still working. If you get to Owo, for example, the dualized carriageway, work is going on the concrete aspect of the works.
Meanwhile, there are indications that another phase of Ijaka Road project will soon commence, as houses along the road have started removing their roofing sheets in preparation for demolition. Omoriola Hungbiji, Osrc News.
It is now 4 months since the Academic Staff Union of Universities withdrew its services in Nigeria's public universities. While the lingering strike continues to sadden many citizens with attendant consequences on socioeconomic indices, concerned Nigerians remain resilient in the calls for a positive resolution between the federal government and the striking workers. Osrc Zaid Aribisala has more.
It has been 4 months since the Academic Staff Union of Universities in Nigeria embarked on an industrial action to press home their demands on a range of issues. The union had on February 14 commenced a 4-week industrial action before announcing a rollover on March 14 for another 2 months. Since the union's first strike in 1988, when it protested against the regime of General Ibrahim Babangida, ASU has done toured 16 times in the last 23 years. With no end in sight to the 2022 strike, Nigerians have intensified calls for the face-off to stop for the benefit of all.
So that means that there's a problem somewhere. So we just have to trace those problems and see how much more we can harmonize it. It's very, very wrong when students are at home for 3 months, 6 months. It has a negative effect on the society. And there should be other means through which this body can also make their yearnings known, you understand? And government on their own part too, they should be able to keep up to promises. This thing is for the betterment of everybody. The researches, everything that will be done during these processes will be beneficial to everybody. Even generation yet unborn, they will meet these structures, they will miss this development.
It only takes you 4 or 5 years to graduate. Whereas you can see so many people there now, they spend 7 years in a university, and this strike can be going on. I just want ASU and the federal government to come to the table for the benefit of the student, because they are the ones that are suffering. Because they said that when 2 elephants fight, it is the grass that suffer. And we have been going on with this for so long. They need to come, and the elders in Nigeria, they need to come to the reality and say, we cannot continue like this. If ASU doesn't strike today, the polytechnic people will strike, the other one will strike. For how long are we going to continue?
The ripple effect of the strike has taken a toll on businesses and livelihood, with parents also feeling the brunt.
If we want to do things the way it should be done, there should be more budget. They should create the budget that is for education, which is one of the things ASU is fighting for. Not only that, these ASU members should update themselves with the latest standard, the means of admission in our university doesn't go well with what is obtainable in developing countries of America.
While the strike continues, some universities have pulled out to resume academic activities. The German Academic Staff Union of Universities, Federal University of Technology, Akure chapter, Professor Olayinka Wokpetu, said the ongoing negotiation has been positive and a resolution imminent.
The discussion has been on with renegotiation, revitalization, proliferation of state universities, and then of course UTAS. Everything is being discussed and we are on. So progress is being made. I think that's the most important thing.
The longest strike in the last few years was in 2020 when ASU went on a 9-month strike. A repeat of that situation is what many concerned Nigerians dread. Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
To sports now. Sunshine Stars Football Club of Akure have secured the Ondo FA Cup after beating Akure City Academy 2-1 in a rescheduled final at the State Sports Complex. The Nigeria Professional Football League NPFL side broke Akure City's resilience in the 65th minute through Aziz Ajagbe. Second half substitute and captain Abe Sunday doubled the lead through a free kick in added time, reducing Alade Abbas's last-minute penalty for the hard-working Akure City Academy as consolation. Abiodun Adewale has details of the story.
Akure City Academy and Sunshine Stars FC of Akure reconverged in the early hours of Wednesday to slug it out in the 2022 Ondo State FA Cup final. No team has beaten Sunshine Stars to the title in over a decade, and Akure City were poised to make another brave attempt after overcoming Sunshine Stars Team B in the semi-final. Akure City lived up to the task of resisting Sunshine Stars' firepower as the game went into the red goalless with just few attempts. The MPFL side, however, ran changes in the second half, which resulted in the opening goal on 65 minutes through second-half substitute Aziz Ajabi. With 3 minutes left on the clock, Sunshine Stars captain Sunday Abe doubled the lead with a free kick. Akure City Academy's consolation came from the penalty spot through Alade Abbas in what was the last kick of the game. The result was a predictable outcome, but making it into the final left so much respect and ambition for the ITU Cup in the minds of players from both teams.
For getting to this stage of the tournament, not an easy task, but we hope to win some other time.
This is not our first time. We've played Rangers in the round of 32. So we expect to go far more better than the previous one. So I believe by the special grace of God, they should watch out for Akure City.
Akure is part of my family, and playing against them is a huge honor. By the grace of God and with determination, we are going to win this year FA Cup.
Chairman of the Ondo State Football Association, Otumba Dele Ajayi, also charged both teams to raise the bar in the Federation Cup, as the board is working to ensure that football gets better in the state.
The game of football is any game. It's friendly. You win some and you lose some. And very soon, we will be having the competing Governor's Cup in this state. By the grace of God. Many competitions will be coming up, and we want to have a yearly run, all year roundabout competition.
With 5 games left in the MPFL, Sunshine Stars will hope to go one better in the Federation Cup this year after losing in the semi-final last season. Abiodun Adewale, OSRC News.
And that concludes Sunshine Report. Thank you so much for your time. Good afternoon.